Hey. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm glad you made it. It is episode 11 of the live stream feedback jamboree. So let's get down. Submit your song right now in my Discord. Look in the description. You could submit there. We're going to review tracks, review loudness levels, mixing, breakdowns, how dope it is, and if it's a banger. If it's a banger, you will know. Let's go ahead and check it out. We have a couple submissions going on right now. First one is from Sunny D. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get straight into it. Uh-oh. My bad. Oh shit. Let's get it. Sunny D, right here. Let's get it. Hey. Sick. Stop. Well, okay, and that is Sunny D with his Human Factory Sunny D bootleg of Final. And I must say, he came in with some heat for the first track. It is some hybrid trap, and usually hybrid trap doesn't make me, give that stank face. But today we did. Today we had some stank face, and it's really good because I want stank face most of the time. And to be honest, the last part over here, when you start using that super high pitched sound, this part, that's sick. You should probably add that more in the beginning. That's dope. You were loud enough, you were wide enough in the drop, but the intro was not wide enough. It's like really mono for some reason. Actually, yeah, right here. So just I don't know, the intro's kind of weird. It's not a lot of energy, so I would try to maybe work it with some melody or harmony or something to add more energy or feeling or emotion, and that'll be much better to actually transition to the drop, because the drop's cool. It's trap. It could have a lot of things added to it, but anything I would say is really subjective at this point. It's mixed well. I like the different dynamic tricks that you're using. You can even see it here in the waveform. Lots of laser fills and lots of just cool fills. So yeah, that's awesome. That's how you keep the listener interested. And that's how you make a banger. So I'm glad to hear it. Sunny D, you're doing good. I like the level of production that you're at. Just get the intros a little bit better. Work on your melody harmony, your chords, your music theory. Find a scale like D minor, E minor, for example, one of those, and just learn it. Practice it. Get down. Next, we have The Abyss. Let's go ahead and see who this is from. The Abyss is from Bloodless Official. Let's get it. Whoa! Okay, and that was The Abyss by Darkness. You can go ahead and check out the waveform here. Waveform looking nice, looking clean. Song, song can use a lot of work. A lot of different things that we need to work on here. If this song was made in 2013, people would be hype, people would be ready to go. But unfortunately, we're in 2022. So dubstep has evolved quite a lot since then. These sounds, specifically, all these presets that you're using or whatever, they've been used a lot. And I've heard them so much that when I hear them now, it's just like, ugh, overused, right? There's like one little section right here. This is probably the only like decently cool section. But the main thing that you have going wrong with the drop is that there's not really call and response. It's more just dubstep bass is just moving and growling and just like randomly like moving. And there's not much call and response. In darkness. Like you are using the same bass to kind of go raw, 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 raw. And that just doesn't work. It's kind of boring to hear that. So you want to make this more interesting, more heavy by not really using these presets, but kind of making the presets your own, making them heavier, and then using call and response techniques. I teach those a lot in my videos, so you can definitely watch those to learn how to do that. But you want to work on that. You want to work on using similar basses, not just different random presets. And you want to create basses that mesh together and flow together so that they can work in harmony. Also, the song is not loud enough. We're at like negative 9 LUFS, which is like the loudness level of a hip hop song. So that's not good either. We want to make that a little bit louder, at least -5, I would say, for this type of dubstep song. And then you want to work on getting it wide as well. Most of the information was in the middle, lots of mono signals. So you want to work on parallel processing and adding a stereo signal with your mono signal so that you can have a very fun time. Otherwise, if you need help, go on the Discord. We will help you with these problems. You have decent timing and song arrangement, but there's just a lot you need to work on if you want to start competing with the people that are touring and making bangers. But you can do it. I believe in you. You got a great foundation. Next, we got Arlix with Shut Up. I don't know why he's telling us to do things so aggressively, but shut up. Let's do it. Arlix right here. Boom, bam, bingarang. Hold on. Well, my golly, I have to say that was dope. That was sick. That was sick. Very good, I must say. There's a couple things we got to work on for show, but overall, I liked it a lot. The lasers just sounded so like crunchy and overpowering and aggressive and demanding. And they really wanted you to just, you know, get down. Very psychedelic. If I heard this in the festival, I'd be going crazy. But the thing is you have it loud enough, right? But it's too loud. And like overall, the track isn't too loud, right? It's like one luff too loud, but the way it's mixed, your main basses are too loud, and the lasers are so loud that I can't really turn up my audio interface without me blowing my ears, and that's a sad time. You know, maybe use the Fletcher Munson curve, bring down all those ear piercing signals in your mid basses, and mix it in with your sub so that your sub is front and center rather than the lasers being front and center. And that's one thing that we've been working on a lot lately in our mixdowns, is making the sub the star of the show rather than, you know, the main bass. And it's hard because we don't usually have subs in our room and we don't have subs in our car usually. So there's not much we can do to start mixing well on the sub unless you have a professional studio. But just watch all your reference tracks that you put in Ableton. Look at how loud they put their subs. Listen to songs in a car with a sub and use that as a reference because it really helps. And you'll be able to get there. It'll take some time, but this is bass music and we need to get these things done. I know you can do it. Last thing I want to say, add some vocals during the intro and the build up. They need them. It would add so much energy. Otherwise, good job, bro. Very nice. Next, let us move on to the Tear Out Sound Design Experiment ID work in progress. WIP thing, question mark, by Scarpy. Let's get it. And that was Scarpy with the Tear Out Sound Design Experiment. Add the WIP thing. Okay. First stuff I gotta say. Loud enough, wide enough, very nice. Sounded good. You know, if I heard this at a festival, I'd be pretty happy to hear something heavy like this. But the sub and the low end, the most important part, is like drowned out by a distortion. It seems like you maybe put a distortion or something on there and it took the low end away. And that's a problem. The section that I put out here, you used a different bass or a different sub where you can actually feel the sub. And it's really important that we can feel it in our chest and not just hear the sub. Like that's what it's about. So if you hear this sub compared to all these subs, you can feel it's different if you have good headphones on. Now, just make sure that you be careful distorting your sub. It's really easy to take away your low end, but what you can do is just simply low pass your sub, leave it all by itself, beautiful sine wave, all big, and then add a distortion layer on top of it separately, and that would alleviate this issue really quick. So do that, but keep on making this. This is really nice. I like this. Good use of reverb, swells, and throws. I would just make sure that you're not using too much. In some areas, you can tell that there's like reverb stacked on top of each other. So just make sure that you're containing your reverb well, because you can get a little messy with your verby. Otherwise, it's good. Next, we got Mipsy. Mipsy submitted twice, but we're using his most recent submission here. It's called Not Quitting New Export Settings. Let's get it.
Code accepted.
Good evening, user.
Hey.
So shall you become.
Damn.
Check it out.
Whoa. I see you. What's going on? Wow.
User entry denied.
Warning. Warning.
Warning. Warning.
Are you ready?
Check it out. Let's go.
Oh, damn. Wow. As usual, going on a musical auditorial journey with the one and only Mipsy. And in the chat, honestly, everyone's talking about Mipsy leveling up, and I can hear it. This is crazy. This is amazing. I'm loving it. Okay, so basically, there's not much wrong with this because it's very artistic and creative. The only thing I heard wrong with it is it's a little not loud enough, right? We're at like -6. I kind of want to be at like -3 for how heavy and how loud this tear out shit should be. You did really good with the sound design. I must say, there's some really dope sections in here, and you get really creative with your sound design with large reverb swells, using dynamics, using really cool effects. And like when we go into the breakdown, you just go from super loud to like very soft and gentle. And that's hard to do, and I applaud you for that. So good job doing all that. Lots of cool sampling. The main thing that needs to be fixed, though, is just the mix down of how the sub fits with all the guns, because it kind of sounds like the guns are drowned out a little bit. They are not as bright and clear as they should be. And the sub as well needs to just fit with those basses in a way that could be done a little bit better. That's one of the hardest things to do in this, but you're going to get it soon. I can tell that you've gotten a lot better at your mix downs because you've gotten better from your last songs. And on this song, it'll just take maybe a couple hours of fixing to get this song right, because this is dope. It's almost finished, it seems like. I don't know. You tell me. But Mipsy, good job. This is what I like to hear. Improvement with the tear out. Next song is called Tear Out, but it spells Terr out. Maybe his name's Terrence. We don't know just yet. It's by Kobo. We got Kobo, Tear Out. Let's get it. Kobo. Tear Out by Kobo. Good submission. Nice attempt at the tear out. But I have to say, this isn't really tear out. Tear out is just very high energy, heavy dubstep that makes you want to go in mosh pits and maybe elbow your neighbor. But you know what? We don't always do that. We don't always elbow neighbors. We just like to dance and have fun. And this song doesn't make you want to dance as much. The reason is because there's not a lot of call and response going on. This is a common issue when you start like producing, and this is how I can tell someone is new to producing when I hear songs like this. When the drop comes, it's kind of just presets playing. It's no call and response, right? There's not movement of basses going one and back to another with different basses and different frequencies and dynamics, use of dynamics. We really want to do all of that so that we can stay engaged with the song. But if you listen here, it's kind of just the same bass playing over and over as soon as the drop starts. So what you can do is kind of like take these out and you could add something different. So like boom, jump, and then right here, you cut out again, do another call and response. And then you just start like taking out little sections, using automation to automate filters. And, if you go on the Discord, we can help you with this. You can live stream. People will show you how to do things like this. But practice is really what's going to make this perfect. But as soon as you get it, you're going to have it. You have some nice sound design. Definitely get a little bit louder and just work on really call and response for the next couple weeks or even the next month, because that's really going to change the game for you and level up your production. All right. Next up, we got Dizzy, and we have the song called Rise Up. This is version 3. We don't have version 2 today. We have version 3. And that was Rise Up from Dizzy. Good submission. Got some tear out tings up in here. Now, the main thing that I noticed about this drop was that it's very loud. And we want to be loud, right? That's the whole point of this music, is to be loud. But usually when we get loud, we can really damage our hearing. We can hit a lot of ear-piercing frequencies. And we basically want to contain those frequencies as we start, compressing our signals and getting them very loud. There are certain frequency ranges, like from the 1000 to the 1.4 thousand hertz, that you can duck down. And then you can get things like the Fletcher-Munson curve to actually use this automatically. But if you do that, you'll be able to mix the bass in, so you can bring down the intensity while keeping the loud volume, and we can save our ears. It's going to be awesome if you do that. It'll make this sound a lot more professional. And the sub also just doesn't sound loud enough. It doesn't feel loud enough. I would definitely get that pumped up a little more. And this song is going to be a banger as soon as you do that. You have some nice sound design, good basses. They just need to be mixed and contained so that they can be played out. Well, this is nice. I really liked how you went from the drop to this too. That was really cool. But otherwise, good. Good job. Work on the mixing. Next, we got the Anti-Villain work in progress. And this is from Jackson. Anti-Villain WIP 2020 version. Currently working on fixing and mixing the song. Here's the most polished version at the moment from 2020. I hope you do know that 2020 is almost 3 years ago, because it's about to be 2023 and we are in the future. So keep that in mind. Anti-Villain, let's run it. On my laptop back at home. 2020 version right now. Now I've been able to grab it. Section all the time has a laptop at home. Tragic. Ow. Let's get it. Oh. Oh. Ay. And that was Anti-Villain by Jackson. Nice submission. Nice and vibey. Switched it up. Gave me little feels. Gave me little emotions. At the end with the piano, I'm feeling a little bit vibey. And I like it. As Lodian said in the chat, needs variation in the melody. And this is agreeable. We can hear the melody going the same if you add counter melodies, if you add, different changes in the chord progression. You can spice it up a little bit. Slight changes make the biggest difference. Also, the whole song is just not loud enough. At the beginning, it was like negative 21 LUFS, and then we got to like negative 14 LUFS, negative 12. It might not be like mastered. This is a song that potentially has headroom that we can send to a mastering engineer, or that we can master it in a separate project and bring it up with compression and use like Ozone, for example, if you want to just use a little mastering suite yourself. But definitely get it louder because you have to turn it up a lot to hear it, which is a problem. I like the vibes though. The main lead that plays in the drop, it continues to play throughout this section. I would kind of switch that up and change it because that sounds obviously like too long. Otherwise, this isn't terrible gun dubstep. There's no gun here, but it's very good. I like it. Definitely work on your loudness levels, managing the stereo image, checking how wide everything is, and just getting things right. Otherwise, nice submission. Good job. Next, we got Macro. We got By Your Side, 140 beats per minute, D sharp minor, WIP version 1. Nice. Let's get it. Woo! Little sneak peek right there. Right? Awesome. Beautiful. Very nice rave vibes I'm getting. EDM, I love it so much. All right, so the vocals, beautiful. It gave me everything I needed in a song. I just love how vocals can make you feel some sort of way, and just the festival vibes I get from this are sick. The sub is mixed well at the beginning. Vibes are good at the beginning. The clap right here is kind of weird. It's like off or weak or something about that clap. And also the build-up claps and drums, they start to get like messy and kind of like weird with the timing. It kind of just go like too fast, I guess. And it just kind of sounds off, but it's not wrong. You can definitely leave it if you wanted to. One big issue though that I heard was clicks in our sidechain. The other night we were in the Discord chat and we're like testing the sidechain and trying to remove the click from the sidechain because it happens, and if you listen here you can hear it. So there's different sidechains you can use, like Fab Filter, right? The Duck Buddy, you know, and we found out that the way to fix this is by using smoothing. But using smoothing can like shift the form. So you have to like find and balance the smoothing, the perfect amount. With Duck Buddy, I was able to use smoothing all the way up and it worked just fine. So it all depends on what you're using. But yeah, definitely fix that right away. And I would just try to make the main lead a little bit beefier. It just sounds a little bit more in the high frequency range rather than like the mid bass range. Sounds good. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But I just think that it could use a little more beef. Maybe it could get an Angus beef steak from Walmart and maybe just like inject it in itself. And yeah, that should be good. Otherwise, sick song, dude. You're good. Definitely killing it. Love the vibes. It sounds professional. You know, song arrangement, timing. It's all good. So super sick. Next. Looks like we got some drugs in here. We got the black tar heroin for drip. I don't do none of that. I'm glad you threw it in here. I'll throw it away after. We'll listen to it for now. I'll keep my distance. Hyper Invasion, black tar heroin for drip. Shout out to Dreamer Boy. Join in the memberships. New memberships available now. You guys are sick.
Black tar heroin.
Oh, whoa. Black tar. Red bar.
Wait, so I'm not supposed to do that?
Hold up. Get out your Wu-Tang Clan bottles.
Heroin.
Pour out the tequila. Hold up.
You know what changed my life? What? Black tar heroin.
Oh my gosh, what is going on over here today, right now? Woo! Spicy. I must say, it's kind of erratic, kind of all over the place. But when you started speeding it up and going to the drum and bass, there was a lot more energy and made more sense. I liked this section. The sub wasn't like powerful enough. Couldn't feel it. You can hear it, can't feel it. gotta fix that. You gotta feel that sub. And then when you slow it down, it just loses the energy, feels really weird. But it's creative when you use BPM automation like that. And I just recommend, if you're going to do that, like practice a lot before you start just randomly automating the BPM, because this is dance music. You got to keep the energy. You want to keep dancing. And if you just randomly speed it up and randomly speed it down, that can be cause for error. So you got to get good at that. Otherwise, one main thing here that I liked was sound design that you have. You just need to work on call and response.
Black tar heroin.
This is the common issue of just throwing the bass right in, having it just keep playing. It really needs to have something in the front, a different bass, then a sound, and then you can bring it in. Work with different techniques like that, and the call and response will make this sound a lot better. It'll add more energy, and it'll make us keep dancing. So work on it. Get this black tar heroin a little bit more black, a little bit more tar, a little bit more heroin-y for drip. Otherwise, good job, dude. Good job. That was Hyper Invasion. Next, we got Odd Cobra with the Odd Cobra New ID Maybe. Let's get it. There. Oh, Odd Cobra New ID Maybe. Let's run it back for the one time. Hey, very good. Odd Cobra with the New ID Maybe. Sounded very heavy rhythmy. I love the phone sustain here. So sick. It's -5 LUFS. It's definitely looking pretty mono, so I would try to add some signals, you know, left and right. Start filling up that stereo image. You definitely use some of that. Sounds good though. Sounded nice. Mixed down. You can feel the sub pretty well. The intro though was kind of boring. Like you have like melodic elements playing, but when you're playing and doing melody and harmony, we should feel something. Like the Reese's should make us like, and that ARP in the back should make us be like, ooh, and it should give us feeling and emotion. And that's not what I'm getting here. So just work on that. Study your music theory. Ask LOVIN how to do that, because he could teach you. You got your drops down. Just start getting the intro so that people don't just skip to the drop. That's important for everyone. Like we are always on SoundCloud, we just skip to the drop. But as soon as you hit play, if you're vibing with it and liking it, you're not just going to skip to the drop. You're going to want to keep listening because we love music. So like try to do that. Everyone. It will be amazing. Up next, we have LOVIN. Speaking of him, we have Jester by LOVIN. Oh my gosh. It's happening now. The Jester work in progress. Let's get it. Low, low. for the low time on the low. Oh, God. Happy Halloween. Get out your jack-o'-lanterns and candy. And your motherfucking scythe. The Grim Reaper is coming.
Now you see me. Now you don't.
Oh. Nice. God. That's cool. That was a journey. That was emotional. That was energetic. I loved it. Lodian, you're freaking good and you're getting really, really good really fast, and it's kind of intimidating. But don't get your ego all floated up right now, because there are some major problems in this that I think you need to fix before you hit that level. And one thing that really made me sad is the timing of the melodics into the drop. As you saw, you made me dance like from intro to breakdown up to the build. But the way that the melodics progress up to the build and the way the drums actually build up.
Now you see me. Now you don't.
It doesn't transition well the way the melodics actually like progress into the drop. So because of this, it made me stop dancing, and I could have been dancing to the fullest to a straight transition to the drop, which would have been perfect. I don't know, it just didn't resolve back there like it should have, and I think you want to fix that. Make sure that is perfect, because when you're using melodic buildups like this and relying on the chord progression rather than just the rhythm and timing of your drums, it gets trickier. But you can do it. You definitely have it down. Also, the main lead, the main bass, just not heavy enough. This is really Subtronics vibey, and you're getting really close to being able to mix down very heavy basses with super luscious like chords and keys. But in this sound, it's like the violins and the strings have more like oomph to them than the actual basses. And that's a problem. You know, if you're going to be making some tear out or dubstep, you kind of want them to at least be balanced, or the basses be louder than the strings and the melodies in the drop specifically. That's what I recommend. You don't have to do that, but I recommend. Otherwise, good job. Loud enough, wide enough. You are spicy, boy. Keep on doing it. Up next, we got Ruby, Alice Gloom. We got Falling, V4, version 4. Shout out to Tang and Domatix for motivating me with this one. Let's don't get it. Ruby hates Gloom for the one time. Shout out Ruby Hates Gloom. That was beautiful, Ruby. Oh my god. You are so good at the making the music. And Jesus Christ, when your vocals came in halfway through the drop, I almost don't shit my pants. I must say, you don't got me dancing hard. God, I felt like this is a perfect song to just do some psychedelics to really just get lost in sound. The soundscapes you make are very amazing and dark and well contained, and it really reminds me of like Daft Punk and just how they used to make extreme vibes, and I love it. Good job. There's nothing I can say that's like needs to be improved with this, because it's dope, Ruby. I like the mid tempo. I like the res vibes. I love the second drop, and I love how you have more dynamics in it, as you guys can visually see. Like, look at these dips in silence. That just sounds beautiful. Yep, you did good submitting this one, Ruby. Very good job. Keep on making them bangers. Up next, we got Little Tear Out by Error Code. Let's go ahead and go and get it.
What did this device do?
Psych!
Hey! Run it back for the one time. Okay. That was error code. These are tear out guns. Now we have a couple of issues here. You didn't submit much. You just submitted basically these guns, so I'm gonna have to critique them to the maximum. They sound cool. They sound a little bit lasery, but they don't sound heavy or deep. They don't sound like guns. They just sound like lasers. Right? There's no sub. There's no low end for me to actually want to make that stank face to.
Psych!
You should at least have your low end with these guns. Like, there's no reason for you to send guns without the actual sub. This is bass music. The most important thing is that sub and the bass. So get that down right away. And also, if you can visually see, it's not loud enough. See? Not loud enough. We can actually see in the lifts. We're at -14. These should be like -5, -7 minimum. So definitely make sure you get these loud, get these fat, use compression, use multi-band compression, and get it fat. But most importantly, layer your guns so that you can get a full, deep sound. That's really how these guns are made. It's a lot of layering. So just go ahead and get started on that. But otherwise, you'll be good to go. Keep keeping on. Up next, we got the Flatland Funk. We got the Chromatic. We got the Domatics. We got a WIP. It's 140 D minor. Check out it on Discord. Let's hear what they got. That was sick. Okay, definitely loud enough. What I love about this and what I haven't heard much of is it's super loud but very clean while being super loud. We're at like -2 lefts in the drop. Lots of use of dynamics. Almost a little bit too much use of dynamics. It seems like we're dancing, all of a sudden I'm just like switching back and like a fill. There's almost like too much fills going on, but it's still sick. I see what you're trying to do. And it sounds very clean, mixed down very well, super heavy. And of course, the best part is how you have melodic fills. So on the downbeat, there's like strings playing, very Murte vibes, super just emotional in the drop. You're layering the melodic vibes with the drop. And then you have those string fills with UK vocals, just sound super sick and transition super well to the next phrase. I love it. I love things like this. These are the things that I want to be doing in my song. So you guys definitely have this down. Abrupt ending, you know, definitely could have went on for longer. I don't know how long this drop is. Yeah, it's 16 bars. It's just so short. A lot of people want to make 16-bar drops, you know, and when you're DJing, I get it. You can play 16 bars and then throw in a next song, but if we're listening to the song and you only play 16 bars, we want more. And it's kind of sad that it just ends right away. So I would make 32 bars out of this. Definitely can do it. Should do it. And I recommend everyone starts doing that as well. Because when we're DJing, we can still mix in a new song after 16 bars if we want to. Good submission. Domatix, killing it. Chromatic, killing it. Flatland Funk, be killing it. Next, we got the Mind Warp. And Mind Warp is from Ethereus. Let's go. Sorry, I can't. All right. This is not something that makes you want to dance. Okay. This is not a build up right here. This is just sounds going into drums that are going faster in time that leads into a completely different song. And during the drop, there's a lot of sounds playing that are not meshing well together. It's not mixed down well. I don't usually just stop playing a song, but I can't keep listening to this. It's just noise at this point, and you got to fix those things. You have to make sure that when you make dance music, you're dancing the whole time and you're focusing on keeping the groove and keeping the energy and making sure things sound harmonic. And when you start detuning things and start using effects, it can sound bad. So you got to be careful with that. Build-ups are important. That's what builds tension and energy, and you have to have an appropriate build. You can't just randomly throw in fast drums and call it a build. But yeah. Next, we got Demon Heart. Wait. This is by Seren Yumi, Demon Heart.
Switch it up.
Okay. All right. This was decent. Demon Heart by Seren Yumi. I hope I don't know if that's right. But this is pretty good. This is some tear out things. The only thing I heard like right away that you need to make sure you're aware of is that it's not loud enough. During the drop, it's like -8 LUFS. This is like some tear out, so it should be minimum -5 LUFS. And I would recommend getting it to like -3 LUFS so we can really feel that intensity and energy that is matching the touring artists. They are getting very loud. But remember, in some previous songs, when you get loud, it doesn't get clean. So you got to make sure you contain those frequencies as you bring it loud. During this track, there are some issues with the mix down. The song arrangement, timing is all good. Things are making sense. But in the drop, it kind of sounds like the sounds on the side are louder than the main gun that's in the middle. It just sounds weird. It sounds off. You definitely need to fix that. The gun should be front and center with the sub. The sub should also be mixed in a way that is supporting that gun. And the gun probably just needs to be layered with different layers. If you watch my previous videos, I show you how to do that in many different ways. When you get this gun thicker and louder, it'll make a huge difference. Make sure you EQ the side signal and all the reverb contain the reverb. There's a lot of reverb going on, so make sure that you're paying attention to all the reverb. You can make low cuts on the reverb as well to clean it up. You do a lot better in the second drop. It starts to sound more contained. We're using more mid-range basses and it sounds dirty. They could be brought up a little bit more in the mix, a little bit brighter. And then in this section, this is probably your best section right here. The reason is because use of dynamics, right? These little going from loud to silence, the use of dynamics really makes a big difference. Sounds heavy. When we go from loud to dynamics like this, that also makes a big difference. So do that a lot. That's what I like to see. This is decent. This is good. Get it louder. Get it right away. There's things you need to work on the mixdown, but overall, not too shabby. Up next, let's make sure this is the last one first off. Yep, this is the last one. Up next, we got Umami. We got E. I hope I said that right. Let's get it.
You asked me why I'm doing all this. But even if I told you why, I doubt very strongly that the knowledge would change anything at all. But let's say that I take the time to explain it to you. This world shall know pain.
Ooh. Gosh. I like bass. That's it. No outro made yet. Let's rap. Bust it down on that mother in pound. I got the Charlie Brown. You can see me with the done. All right. That was E by Umami. Unami. Sorry. Sick. This is sick. I'm sure you guys could hear and feel the sub was suspiciously fat, and the intro was suspiciously quiet, and the vocals sounded suspiciously clean while being quiet.
Ask me why I'm doing all this.
So the reason for all this is because most likely he had headroom. He used compressors to get it loud. That's what happens. That's how we mix and master. That's how I was taught in school. You know, when we're making like a pop or a hip hop song or country song, right? But when we're making bass music and loud dubstep, we can't be this low in volume. The intro is very quiet at like -21, and the drop, even though the sub sounds and feels loud when you turn it all the way up, you put it back on a normal level and it's not loud enough. We're at -13 left, so we really want to be at like -6, -5 for this type of dubstep. But as you will see, when you get it that loud, the sub will lose its intensity. So like the whole trick of doing this is to get the sub loud and fat while getting all your other sounds fat and mixing them in a way so that it still sounds like this, because this is clean, just not loud enough. Got to keep working on it. Otherwise, this is a solid submission. I really like the vocals. Cool energy. Get it loud. It's usually always the issue, right? Just got to get them louder. Thank you guys so much for submitting everything. You guys are always awesome. I'm working on a lot of things right now. Lots of new videos coming soon. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And chill with the community in Discord. We're here to help you. Let's have fun. It's free. And yeah, if you want projects and racks and stuff, I have a Patreon for that too. Otherwise, thank you for everything. Have a good night. Peace out. Stay fresh. Keep it real.